Hi guys, welcome back to Unbox Anything. Today we'll be looking at the Sony Z5. This is the model e6853. Yeah, that's it. So I'll just be telling you some of the pros and the cons of the phone itself. So we just go straight into it. So I've got a case on this phone. I've had this one for 8 months after replacing it 3 times in 2 years. I mean, that's terrible. So that's the first con, and the reason why I've replaced the phone 3 times in 3 years is because the exterior have had a lot of hardware issues. So to start off with, the back of the phone has this glass or plastic whatever, and I don't know why Sony thought that was a good idea for a 2015 phone to have that, because by then Apple, you know, the iPhone 4, they had realized that this was a big mistake, so they stopped making phones with a glass back, if that makes sense. So I don't know why Sony thought it was a good idea to do it, because the reason why Apple stopped making that with the iPhone 4s is because if you remember, even now, if you see someone with an iPhone 4, the back is normally cracked, because having a glass in the back just means the phone, if the phone drops, it just cracks like this basically. I know the other 2 phones that I've had, same thing happened, and then hardware issues, because what happens now, if you look there, you can see some parts inside the phone. So if I dropped it in water, or if I was out and it's raining, some water could enter, and then this one probably stop working as well. So that's a con. The exterior is very weak. Even you can see that I've had the phone in a case, but you can see a few marks there, like there, and yeah, it's the exterior is extremely weak on this phone. Okay, the front screen, I mean the front screen here is lovely, very quite strong. It feels like it's strong, but as soon as it drops the floor, it feels like it's gonna crack straight away. The reason I'm saying that is because it feels too glassy. It feels like that type of glass that would drop and crack straight away. Yeah, so that's a con as well. Another con that I found about the phone, sorry, I have a lot of cons for this one, is that buttons have been placed in random places. Now, I don't have an issue with making the buttons, putting buttons in different places when it's a different phone. Obviously, you can put buttons wherever you want. It's just that they have put them in weird places, okay? So it does take you a lot of time to adjust to it. So let's say if you are with a Samsung and then you come to these guys, you're gonna take ages to actually understand that the battery, that they put the sound up and down there. Like, I found it really hard. I prefer to keep stuff to where it should be, okay? Just leave it there. Like, it's not gonna make a difference, okay? But Sony says, all right, we just put these buttons wherever we want, and it's hard to get used to them where they are, because you constantly think, okay, why is that sound there? Why? Because then I don't know, it's just too much. Okay, I just think this button should be there and just keep them the same way they should be. So the speaker is right there. Speaker is nice. That's a con. So the sound on this is very good. It's excellent. Of course, like I always say, remember when the Sonys first came out, the Sony phones, they were really good at their sound, and that's still like that. So the sound out of the phone, if you're listening to music, someone will think you're playing it off a Bluetooth speaker, because it's really loud and really clear. So the sound is perfect. I'll give it that. Okay, so let's go and talk about the phone itself. Now, the phone is extremely bright. As you'll see, that's the top brightness, but that's really bright. It's just as bright as the iPhone 7 Plus. I did a review of the iPhone 7 Plus versus this one. You can check that out. But you could see from that review that the brightness was nearly the same with the iPhone 7 Plus, which is probably the one of the brightest phones now. So this one is also really bright, especially for a phone that came out in 2015. Because that's when it came out. Also, price wise, that's a pro for it. The price is really good with this phone. It's only 300, a brand new one, and the used one you could find it for 250 if you're lucky, even 200 if you find those people that are selling it, you know, really cheap, and it's used. That's great, because it's a new phone and it's a great phone. Okay, so if you're getting it for that price, that's a decent price, especially if that's how much you're getting a new one for. Another pro of the phone is that it's fast. To be fair, the phone's fast. It's got a 3GB RAM memory, which is not bad for a 2015 phone. So really, it barely slows down. But also on the con side, is that it eventually does slow down basically. So again, like I normally advise people who have Android phones, is to always turn your phone off before bed. It's just one of those things you have to do if you have an Android phone. Really, you should do it whether you have an Apple phone or whatever software that's out there in phones nowadays, okay? Because what that does is that at night when you're asleep, you don't really need to leave your phone on, except if you're setting an alarm. But I heard there are some alarms that can go off when the phone's off. I'm not sure about that, but either way, unless you're having an alarm on the phone, then probably leave it on. But it's always good for the phone to be off. I believe that. The reason to that is because, especially with Android phones, because they don't have that thing where sometimes if you leave an app open, sometimes it closes like on Apple phones. So it's always smart to take your phone off before bed. That will help your Sony Z5 to be fast, because they do drag every once and then. So if I open YouTube and I open other apps, eventually it does slow down, even though now it's probably working faster because I turned it off before when I was doing a review for it with the iPhone 7. So now it's really fast. But if, let's say I open Netflix and everything, then that it will slow down. Another con for me with this phone is that the sound, the quality of the video, I don't like it. Now I'll go ahead and play some videos on YouTube and I'll show you what I mean. The reason why I'm saying that is because it has a certain darkness in the phone, and if you want to see that clearly, you can check out the iPhone 7 versus this phone, because that shows you a bit more. That will show you the comparison between this phone and the iPhone, and you see that the iPhone camera is better. Obviously we're not here to talk about the iPhone 7, okay? I'm just trying to prove a point of the con, that the video quality is not as good as you want it to be. Sorry, where's YouTube now? So here we are. We just closed those videos. I'll just play one of these videos because these are all toy videos. So what happens, it shows more of the phone video quality and stuff basically. Now if you look at this video, it's got a bit of darkness, so that's the problem. So on here, when I'm watching it in real life, there's no, you see there, it's dark, it's got that darkness around the phone. I don't know why they did that, because as I'm watching this phone in real life, that darkness is not there, but when you're watching it on the phone, it's got that darkness around it. I think they probably did it because they thought it was something that was unique, but it actually makes the video darker than it should be, because this video, as I'm watching it now in real life, it's really light, and if I was playing it on an iPhone, it would have been really light, but on the Sony it's a bit dark. But it doesn't affect the quality, it's just that it's like it does make the video darker. So I'm not saying that the quality is not good. The quality is perfect, like literally the quality is spot on. It's just that the problem is that darkness, you see that on the edges and stuff. It's like one of those films you watch where they put that effect where they make the edges of the film or whatever you're watching darker to give it a more cinematic whatever. But on phones, I don't think it's a good idea, because most of the videos you're gonna find on internet have low light, so I don't think it was a good idea for them to have that on this phone. So it does have that darkness around it. That's my issue. But in terms of quality, the quality is spot on. I mean, this video is 1080p, and you can see the quality is great. You can see Nemo there, the color sticks out. Of course, you can see a bit of darkness around it. That's the issue. So, but in general, it's a great quality. The video quality is really great. Now let's talk about the camera, which is a con for me with the camera. Now I have to tell you that the phone does have a 4K camera, so that's great. That's a pro, okay? So you're gonna enjoy the phone, you're gonna enjoy taking pictures. But my con is this. Now let's try to take a picture of this case there. Okay, turn up the brightness a bit. There we go. Now let's open the camera. There we go. Now my issue is this. Don't get me wrong, 4K camera, pictures are great outside when it's light, natural light. But once it comes inside, or let's say in this light box thing, it does this thing where, you see now this camera I'm using to record this video is a professional camera. It's one of those Canon things, a D something. So as you see now, the picture is more natural and how it should be. But when you're recording it on here, you can see it's got that bluish stuff around it, and it's blurring the picture, like as if there's the lens is dirty. But even if I cleanse the lens, you'll realize I'll just actually clean the lens to show you that this is not the lens that's dirty. It's just the camera doing that, where it shows you, it makes it all dreamy. And well, actually it was the lens, to be fair. The lens was a bit dirty. But yeah, what I'm still trying to say is that the picture doesn't match this, does it? It makes the colors a bit darker. Again, that's the issue. It does make things darker than they should be, which is not good, because what it does to the phone, what it does is just that it doesn't make it great, because that case is not as dark as it, because it's showing it too dark on here than it should be. But other than that, video is great. I mean, if you take pictures outside in the sun or during daytime, you are going to get really quality pictures that you can't even get on an iPhone, like literally, because it's a 4K camera, you know. It doesn't mess about. Its camera is great. It's just that when it comes inside under light, it's not good enough. Okay, my other con is this. Yeah, that's it. So it does come with buttons here, but touchscreen buttons, so it doesn't have like the home button you press or anything like you have on your Samsungs and stuff. Whereas it just comes with touchscreen. But here's my issue. This button is the home button, so basically when you click it, it will bring you back to home basically. But the issue is that they made the icons look weird, because you know, it doesn't look like a home button to you, does it? They could have made it more homey, maybe put a little bit of Windows. Now I know it sounds irrelevant, like, you know, if you're used to a certain thing like a phone with an home button with an actual home, it's going to be different for you when you start using something like this, because you're not going to understand this is home. Okay, and also this is the recent button, so this will take you back to all the recent apps. But again, it's just basically here they just made it a square. You see that here they just made it a square, and it doesn't make sense, okay? Because normally, like I say, normally when you have that icon for recent apps, it's always a square, then other squares, then other tiny squares in it, to show you that it's showing that how the recent apps are always organized. But this one, they just literally put a square and that's it. So obviously that's quite obvious. That one's back, so that was perfect. That was done perfect. So once you click that, you go back. But the icons are not good enough, these icons. But in terms of the icons on here, as in, I love the way the icons are. I don't know, they stick out. Okay, that's great. That's a pro for me. It really sticks out. So if you're holding your Z5, someone will see the icons and they'll be like, wow, those icons really stick out. You know what I mean? The icons really do stick out. Like you see them now over there. They look really great. It's just that these, obviously the ones here are the ones that are terrible. So yeah, I have to say the phone seems to be having more cons than pros, which is very rare because I normally do reviews and it's always more pros than cons. But unfortunately, it's a great phone and it was the first 4K phone, but a lot of things were done wrong. For instance, especially the exterior of the phone is really weak. Now the phone does feel good on hand. Again, I think it's too boxy. The phone is really like boxy. So what I'm trying to say is that you can't hold it. The edges will start to feel a bit sharp. Now I know they've tried to carve them a bit in, but it still does feel a bit, you know, like if you hold it for long, you can feel the edges literally squeezing into your skin. I know I sound like a guy who's very sensitive, but trust me, if you hold this phone for ages, that will happen. And also, of course, if when you're charging it, it does heat up. So that's something else to keep in mind. But that's really a minor, because a lot of Android phones do that. So it's kind of those things you have to get used to. You never get an Android phone that doesn't really heat up. It's very rare, and the reason to that is because of all this fast charging and stuff like that. So I'd advise you to always charge your phone before bed. Even your Z5, charge it when you're not using it. Okay, if you want to charge it when you're watching a film, that's fine. Again, because that means that you're not typing anything. But if you're typing and you're charging, it's gonna heat up in your hands, and then this keyboard will start doing funny things. I don't know if you know that, if you've probably had an Android phone that does that, where it overheats and then the keyboard starts pressing random keys. Oh, it's the worst. I've had 2-3 Android phones that do that, and it's the worst thing ever, because you're trying to type something and it's just pressing random keys because it's overheated or something like that. So just make sure that you obviously charge when you're not using it. I hope this review has been great. Another con is that, seriously, if you are thinking of buying the phone, I just put you off it. But yeah, no, seriously, the other con is that if you break your phone and you need it repaired, you really can't go to any Sony stores, because Sony doesn't have any stores. You know, Samsung has stores now, Apple has obviously its stores where you can go and have it replaced or whatever. These guys, you have to ring them, it takes ages, it's a drag, you have to explain everything over the phone, and then sometimes their phones will be too busy. It's just, I think Sony is becoming now really a massive company, to the point that they should probably have a few stores open around where you can actually go in to pop in and tell them there's something wrong with your phone and they can fix it without you having to call them. Don't you think? I think that would be great. But yeah, I'm sorry if I've ruined the whole phone for you and it probably put you off it, but remember, it does have amazing brightness, like you see there. The brightness on this guy is just really good. Videos are alright, but obviously there is a bit of darkness. The camera is 4K, so if you're out there on holiday, you take pictures, the quality is gonna look great, very great for obviously all your apps like Instagram and stuff like that. You'll enjoy them. Actually, let me just go on Instagram and just so you can see a few how it looks like on other stuff. Bear with me. So here we are. You go your Bugs Malone there and stuff. So it does look great because the brightness is really great on this phone. Here you can see all the other people. Wait, I'll just go over here. So here you can see that it does have a really nice brightness to it. So that's also something to keep. So don't think that I've just said all negative things about it. There are some good things about it. It's just that obviously the pros, the cons outnumber the pros, which is sad. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the review anyway, and I will see you next time. Take care.